You think you know what you're getting into with a movie called Chainsaw Man. The title practically screams at you. Blood, chaos, some guy with power tools for limbs, tearing through demons like a heavy metal album cover come to life, and sure, you'll get that. But here's the thing, nobody tells you until it's too late. This isn't really about chainsaws at all. It's about a kid who's never been loved, trying to figure out what love even feels like, and that realization, it hits harder than any fight scene ever could. Let's talk about why this one cuts deeper than you'd expect. Before we dive in though, if you're into movies that make you feel something real, that challenge what you think anime can do, you're in the right place. We break down films like this every week, finding the heart underneath the spectacle. Stick around because, trust me, you're going to want to see where this goes. So, Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze Arc. It's the feature-length continuation of the first season, adapted from one of the manga's most pivotal arcs, and it just might be the best anime movie of the year. Directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara, stepping in for the original director, it follows Denji, our perpetually desperate, emotionally stunted protagonist, as he stumbles into something he's never experienced before, genuine affection from someone his own age. Her name is Reze. She's mysterious, kind, and seems genuinely interested in him, not in what he can do, not in his powers, in him. And for the first time in his miserable existence, Denji starts to wonder if there's more to life than just surviving. This is the kind of movie you watch with the lights off and your phone face down. It demands your attention, not through noise, but through silence, through the small moments, the way a shirt wrinkles, the way two people look at each other across a cafe table like the rest of the world just dissolved. It's tender, deliberate, and absolutely devastating, because here's what makes this movie work. It understands that Denji is broken. He grew up in poverty so extreme he had to sell parts of his own body just to eat. He's been used, manipulated, and treated like an attacked dog by almost everyone in his life. He doesn't know what healthy relationships look like because he's never had one. So when Reze shows up and treats him like a person, not a weapon, not a pet, just a kid, he doesn't know how to process it. He doesn't know if what he's feeling is love or just the first scrap of kindness anyone's ever thrown his way. And the movie doesn't rush that. It sits with him. It lets us watch him fumble through conversations, second guess himself, light up when she smiles. The colour palette literally shifts when Reze enters the story. Everything gets brighter, warmer, more alive. It's visual storytelling at its finest, showing us Denji's internal world without spelling it out. Kensuke Ushio's score does the heavy lifting here. His piano-heavy theme for Reze is hauntingly beautiful, delicate in a way that makes you ache. There's a pool scene halfway through that says more without words than most blockbusters do in an hour. The music swells, the animation breathes, and you just feel it. The fragility of this moment, the impossible hope that maybe, just maybe, Denji gets to be happy. But this is Chainsaw Man. And happiness doesn't last. Remember when I said this cuts deeper than you'd expect? That's because it doesn't just show you pain, it makes you recognise it. The film hinges on a conversation about an old fable, the town mouse and the country mouse. It's a simple story about whether it's better to live a boring, safe life alone or an exciting, dangerous life surrounded by others. And Denji, bless him, doesn't even realise he's the mouse. He's been throwing himself into danger over and over, getting nothing in return but scraps of validation from people who see him as disposable. Reze sees it, we see it, but Denji, he's not ready to confront that yet, and that's what makes the second half of this movie so brutal, because just as things start to feel safe, just as you start believing this might actually work out, the horror kicks in, and I mean horror. The movie doesn't ease you into it, it slams the door shut and locks you in. Suddenly we're in a David Fincher film, handheld cameras and all, as a knife-wielding killer crashes their date, and everything we thought we knew gets flipped on its head. Ushio's whimsical piano distorts into synth-heavy chaos straight out of a rave, and the tone shift is so sharp it leaves you reeling. The action that follows is spectacular, no question. Chainsaw Man riding a shark into battle. Absolutely bonkers. Explosions that turn Tokyo into a war zone. Gorgeous. The animation team at MAPPA goes all in, translating the manga's visceral energy into kinetic, explosive sequences that don't hold back. But here's where the movie stumbles a little. It gets so caught up in spectacle that some fights become hard to follow. The bold colour splashes and rapid cuts feel like they're playing to the crowd, chasing mainstream appeal instead of trusting the audience to keep up with something quieter and more experimental monumental like the first season did. But even with that, the movie never loses sight of what matters, Denji. This isn't about defeating the villain. It's about a kid learning that wanting something real doesn't make you weak, that caring about someone, even when it hurts, even when it ends badly, is still worth it. That's the arc. That's what makes this more than just another shonen anime film. We live in a world where most blockbusters are terrified of silence, of letting characters just exist without punching something or quipping their way out of emotion. Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze Arc, isn't afraid of that. It knows that the quietest moments, a hand reaching across the table, a shared laugh over something stupid, the look on someone's face when they realise they've been lied to, those are the moments that wreck you. Those are the ones you remember. This movie gets that. It trusts you to sit with discomfort, to watch a kid realise he's been used, to feel the weight of loneliness and hope tangled up together. It's messy and heartbreaking and deeply, deeply human. And yeah, there are chainsaws, but they're not the point. They never were. Maybe that's what movies like this remind us, that beneath all the noise, all the spectacle, all the blood and chaos, what we're really watching is just people trying to connect, trying to matter to someone, trying to figure out if the risk of getting hurt is worth the chance of being seen. The lights fade, the credits roll, and for a second the world feels different. Not better necessarily, just seen, like someone finally put into images what you've been feeling all along but couldn't quite name. If you haven't seen it yet, lucky you. You get to experience it for the first time.